Good morning, Zio here. And today is a day. What is today? Thursday? It's Thursday morning. How are you? Good morning. All that good stuff. Anyway, I'm Zio. This is Zio Gaming, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go for it, because I have no idea what it is that I'm doing or how this is supposed to... I don't know. Anyway, like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff, because today we're talking about how gaming companies just, well, they're mountains of hypocrisy. I'll go with that. So let's get into it, shall we? No, but seriously, gaming companies need to remain apolitical. In fact, all companies need to remain apolitical. We don't always touch into the political space for simple reasons. It's a very hot topic thing. I have views. My views differ from other views and all this other good stuff, and it's best to keep it off to the side and just talk news, right? And this is newsworthy. We get into the political space when it's dealing with video games or other nerd-related things, whether it's TV shows like Star Trek or Doctor Who, or manga or comic books or anime, things like that. We talk about it when it does crop up and is meaningful to talk about, right? Because quite frankly, there's a way to tell stories that still has political messaging to it, but isn't straight up in your face slapping you across, punching you in the face or whatever, unlike what it is doing now. I think everyone's favorite thing to go to is the X-Men, right? The X-Men touches on things like the Holocaust and other stuff like that in the way it does things, but it's not the main focus of it. In fact, you can sit there and watch the old cartoon, or read the old comics and stuff, and that kind of messaging still is in there and things, but it's just not like straight across your face trying to browbeat you into submission or anything like that. It's still a fun time, a great comic. You're enjoying the adventures of everybody in there, whether it's Jean or Wolverine or anyone else, and you're having a good time. And the same thing when it comes to video games. There's a lot of games where there's inner politics inside the game, whether they can be allegories for more real life situations that have happened, or history, past events, or something like that. Final Fantasy Tactics is one of my favorite Final Fantasy games, the favorite, right? With Final Fantasy 6, 7, and 14 as my number twos, all three of them. But a lot of that game has to deal with politics of a particular kingdom and other stuff that is woven into the story, and it's a great story in my opinion, of course. And that has politics in it. Whether they reflect something that was more something that actually happened in history or something like that, maybe not. It could be a thing. And I say that because I actually don't 100% know the answer to that question. It may not be, but it might actually come from something, or at least take an inspiration from something like that. But, video game companies themselves, and other companies like Nike and Starbucks and everything else in the world, need to just stay apolitical. Mainly because, they look like massive hypocrites when they don't. And we talked about this yesterday with Blizzard. If you didn't look at the Blizzard thing, go take a look at that after this. I'm probably going to be referencing it because I just talked about it. But what we're looking at on the screen now is the world has got some issues, right? There was a incident where a cop has essentially choked somebody to death, right? And, again, we have protests, which is normal. I'd expect that from what I saw and everything. It is a straight up tragedy. What has spawned from that, of course, is certain groups coming in, and riots have happened. It's a touchy subject, so I apologize for sort of dancing around it. This is YouTube, after all, although the BitChute side won't care so much. The YouTube side does, and this video will go to both sides, of course. So I've been debating on making some BitChute only stuff where I can be more unfiltered, of course. So if you're on BitChute and want to see that, leave a like and let me know down below in the comments that that's something you want to see, me more unfiltered for specific BitChute only videos and such. And when it gets live streamed, that would be fantastic, BitChute. But anyway, we've got everybody essentially either being beaten into submission to comment on the matter, or straight up just commenting on the matter and doing things that make no sense whatsoever. There's no reason for these things to happen, and it is honestly, in my opinion, completely ridiculous. If you are one of those people who go and say, Nike, why aren't you saying anything? Or just look and say, oh, Nike said whatever it is that Nike said, and you fawn over it, I'm sorry. I really am, because whether or not Nike or Rockstar or anyone else comments on the situation, it shouldn't be a question on anybody's mind. There should be no reason for them to comment on it. It is not, they're a business. All they're doing is selling you whatever product that they have, and they want to sell it to the most amount of people. But when you get political, you have a habit of cutting your customer base, whether or not you just anger them or you actually cut them out altogether is another thing to say altogether. But here we got Rockstar, Black Lives Matters, to honor the legacy of George Floyd. Today, 6:42 from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern Time, we'll be shutting down access to our online games, Grand Theft Auto Online and Red Dead Online. Following the memorial, we hope, and this was a tweet afterwards, but following the memorial, we hope you will join us in further honoring the many victims of American racial injustices by supporting their families, Black-owned businesses, those marching on the streets, and the coalitions through the organizations listed here. Okay, that doesn't really matter. Point is, why are we shutting down the services? Like, seriously, I don't get it. I don't understand it. What does that accomplish? Because other things have also done similar things. We're going to look at them. You've got 2K here. This week we have muted our channels out of respect for what is going on in the world. We are increasing funding for our 2K Foundations program by an additional $1 million and expanding its mission to help fight racial injustices and inequities in Black communities across the globe. Black Lives Matter. That's a nice statement and all, but why? The thing in the second paragraph, that's cool. If this is something that they actually do and follow through with, I would say kudos to 2K, because they're actually doing something. Actually doing something, what, even if that's committing money to a cause that they believe in, which is totally fine. Do you need to come out and tell everybody that you're doing it? No. In my mind, when you have to go out and tell everybody, hey, look, we're donating $1 million to this particular charity or whatnot, or doing this thing, and it wasn't like, say, a group thing trying to grab in money for charity or something, you're just going to drop $1 million on it. It feels a little disingenuous when you come out and tell everybody, hey, look how good we are, we donated. Sorry, it does. PlayStation here. We have decided to postpone our PlayStation 5 event scheduled for June 4th. While we understand gamers worldwide are expecting to see PS5 games, we do not feel that right now is the time for celebration, and for now, we want to stand back and allow more important voices to be heard. Nobody cares. Look, I'm going to put it frank, just straight out honest with you people. The people who care about the stuff that you're referring to are going to speak regardless. They're going to make their opinions heard. They're going to type it on Twitter. They're going to write their blogs. They're going to make their videos about it. They're going to have their protests. They're going to speak at their protests. And they're still going to do whatever it is that they're going to do, regardless of whether or not PlayStation streams their PS5 reveal stuff, right? it doesn't matter. That this is a meaningless gesture, especially when not even a week later, see you Thursday, June 11th at 1 p.m. Pacific time for a look at our new, or the future of gaming. Gosh, I guess a week later, those voices no longer need to be heard, right? Because that's exactly what I'm taking from that. It's like, a week ago, we have voices that need to be heard. Almost 7 days exactly afterwards, yeah, you guys are done. We don't need to listen to you anymore. We're going to have our thing. You should have had it to begin with. Listen, we've been dealing with a pandemic, which apparently at this point is nothing, because beforehand we had protests of people tired of the lockdown. You had people running around screaming how we're all going to die because those protesters are out protesting such thing. Then we had the death of George Foreman, or wait, apologize. Who is it? George Floyd Foreman. Wrong thing. George Floyd. And then suddenly we have protests. The flu, the bug, has suddenly... It's a nothing anymore. What is it? A nothing burger is what they call the Russia thing, right? So apparently the bug is now a nothing burger. The protests are A-OK, and they're allowing rioting to continue even to this day. As I record this, there are still things going on. And nobody's talking about the bug unless they're talking about the re-election or the elections coming up for president, in which they're like, oh, well, we have to do mail-in ballots because of the bug. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going off topic, aren't I? Anyway, it just feels disingenuous, right? A week ago, hey, we need to we're not going to do this thing because more important voices need to be heard. And then not even 7 days later, this was June 8th, which is, what, 4 days after they were... No, wait, this was the first, so I'm sorry. They said that on the 1st. Yeah, about 7 days later. I was right. Okay, so 7 days later, it's like, yeah, now those voices no longer need to be heard, so the thing we were going to hold 7 days ago... because I think the thing was going to be on the 4th, now it's the 11th, that's a 7-day time gap. We're going to have our thing. What was the point of pushing it to begin with? There was none. And I just realized the light coming in is cutting me down the center. Anyway. No, but seriously, what was the point to that? That makes no sense whatsoever. And we can't forget Bethesda, and they're not the only ones, because Blizzard does this too, where, say, we're all in for Pride Month, right? Everybody is all in when it comes to Pride Month, except for when it's those locations that, that inconvenient truth that people don't like to hear, hate the gays, like the Middle East or China. When it comes to those places... We don't participate in Pride Month. We don't even mention it. We knee-jerk reaction ban people for a year because they say freedom for Hong Kong. Like the whole Blizzard thing yesterday where they, banned like a lifetime ban of a player for trolling some kind of protest that was happening in-game in an MMO where things like World PvP is encouraged... And there's... Anyway, but then at the same time, it's discouraged because it's somebody's certain politics that happens to have the main stage at the moment, and we want to curtail to that particular group, right? And then suddenly it changes. It's no longer what it should be, which is why companies need to remain apolitical. Take the Pride stuff, dump it. Take the Black Lives Matter stuff, dump it. Take whatever it is that is a political thing, whether it's left or right, dump it. Get rid of it. Be a company and do your job. That's it. If you're Nike, make shoes and whatever other products they do. If you're Starbucks, make me some damn coffee, and good ones too, to boot that. If you're Bethesda, make me a freaking good game. That's all I want. A game that's not glitchy as heck, that I can play, that isn't going to be hacked day in, day out, that has an only multiplayer to it. Bethesda was not ready for that. Anyway, but seriously, these companies just need to completely get off the thing. And of course, my buddy Nathan says it best here when he reposts this. But, you know, we at Brand are committed to fighting injustice by posting images to Twitter that expresses our commitment to fight injustice. To that end, we offer the solemn white on black JPEG that expresses vague solidarity with the black community. But we will quietly side or elude the specifics of what is wrong, what needs to be changed, and is what ways we will do anything about it. This doubly true if Brand is particularly guilty of extirpating these issues. I can't read. Forget it. I'm done. It's been a long day. We hope this action encourages you to view Brand positively without, expecting anything from us. Brand. You know the ones. And I love that because that is just perfectly describes what all is going on. The only difference, of course, is going to be 2K here. See, if J2K actually follows through with the whole, giving money to whatever charity or increasing their fundraising programs, something that's cool. That's at least action that is behind the words, and it's worth something at that point, right? Everybody else just shouting, we're going to shut down our Twitter accounts and our other social medias. We're going to shut down our services for like 2 hours to just annoy everybody, because chances are, we play games for a reason, right? We do it to escape the world. We do it to get lost in another world, to be doing things and stuff. And if I want to boot up something, thank goodness there are single player games still out there. But, if I want to boot up Phantasy Star Online 2 or World of Warcraft or Diablo 3 and got a screen going, hey, due to X happening, we have decided we are going to be shutting down our servers from X time to X time. I would be really, really ticked off, especially if it's a service I freaking pay for, Yeah, that would really take me off just quite a bit. But yeah, it makes no sense. It's purely hypocritical when companies do things like that. When they move their things from, say, what is it, the 4th to the 11th, because voices need to be heard, but then don't give those voices a platform. It's hollow words at that point. It'd be one thing if, say, instead of having the planned PlayStation 5 event, they decided to have some kind of, I don't know, Black Lives Matter event instead play in its place, and they gave people a voice and a platform to voice their grievances and things like that. Would I still be kind of ticked off at that? Yes, because they're getting political. Just like I wouldn't want to sit there and listen to a neo-Nazi sitting there trying to force feed everybody whatever it is that neo-Nazis force feed into people, right? Or any other group out there trying to force their ideology and their thinking onto others when I'm there to see the PlayStation 5. Would I still be ticked off? Yes, if that was the case. Just play the PlayStation 5 event. Let's move on. There's no need for all the other stuff. But if you at least give somebody an actual voice, it's not so hollow at that point too. If you're going to be political, commit to it at least, so I can then yell at you for being political and not also be yelling to you at being a hypocrite. But yeah. Anyway, let me know what you think about all this down in the comments below, and I will talk to you later. See ya. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment, smash that like button, and always subscribe for more. And of course, there are other videos floating around somewhere on the screen, so click one of those and see if you can find something that suits your fancy. Till then, I'll see you later. Bye.